Hello, everyone. Each week, when I say welcome to the Advancement Center, I'm really saying welcome home. We've been waiting for you. This is the family I have always dreamed about since childhood. Now, is it Ganga? Ganga? Not sure. Ganga? Well, at any rate, my new Facebook friend says we are all human family. I mentioned to him that I was following my spirit as always when I discovered him on Facebook and that he is from Bhutan. Now, Bhutan, where I have always heard of their gross national happiness. I so enjoyed sharing Robert's happy switch with him and how each of us has one and we operate it manually and sometimes allow it to be off. Hmm. This is the place where whatever you have to offer as your gift to the world, to the universe, is valued, cherished, and encouraged to grow even more. This past July 15th, we celebrated 1 year of broadcasting 3 times a week. Genya, David, and I had been raised up and over the fence. We didn't even know it was there. This happened magically by Robert seeing what we have to offer and beyond what we could possibly see of ourselves. And with each week's broadcast, he's never been disappointed and recently suggested the expansion of these broadcasts to include guests. So this past week, we have welcomed 3 wonderful guests, Lori, Edie, and David, who shared their worlds with us. We look forward to sharing our on screen stage in future broadcasts with you. Now, it just occurred to me that most of our experience in the world is backwards. It is assumed that we know very little and have to work towards earning a diploma at a ceremony called commencement, a new beginning all over again. Listen to the children. So much is revealed. When you arrive at the Advancement Center, we greet you completely and delight in every discovery we make together. These usually happen through magic and miracles, which of course gives rise to celebration. Now, Robert speaks of the importance of celebration as almost locking in the shared experience. Today, we are celebrating Kathleen and Adrian's marriage in a beautiful woodland setting in Scotland just yesterday. Congratulations. Now, Robert has said, now that we have the magic and miracles at our fingertips, we can start to play like children and enjoy the wonders of the world in front of us, of the world that is hidden, and of the world that we like to create. Everything that you can possibly imagine, you can experience. And the experience is one that involves everyone, but does not capture any one person into your flow. It's a unique flow that involves everyone, but does not demand one thing from any one person. Now, Ganga posted uh, on Facebook these very scary masks. And I had to comment and I said, those masks are scary that you're putting on in front of the children, and this is all happening in Bhutan. I said, but they're not afraid. And he said, our children have nothing to be afraid of. I use that as a model. Our children come in with no fear, only joy and giggles. As we celebrate our new capabilities, they become a permanent part of our reality and always remain beyond logical description. It is not the practice or the discipline that makes your being sing. It is the recognition of something from your origin that sparks your majestic being into life and switches on the most powerful possibility in the universe. These energies emanate from you in the form of powerful fields that interact positively with everything and multiply your effect of well-being for everyone in every possible way. Now, it is my pleasure, my joy, and my honor to greet my guest, Robert, as he greeted me almost 10 years ago when I found myself in Australia. So, welcome, Robert, to center stage. There you are.
Hello, my dear. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
That's good.
And sharing a screen with you is amazing.
That's great.
Yeah.
What are we going to talk about today?
I don't know, but as soon as people saw the invitation included Robert Young, we had 5 or 6 more people sign up immediately. So you have a drawing appeal.
I don't know about that.
I do. Well, you're talking, let's see, you're talking to Belgium, Scotland, Bhutan, Spain, France, Costa Rica, and probably many other places.
Oh, that's great.
It is. It's wonderful. Yeah.
So
Didn't you love what Ganga said? That, yeah. He's one of us.
Yeah, the measuring system is obviously working when you say you measure the happiness, not the gross national product.
Yeah, like we do here. Yeah.
That's the sort of thing that is going to grow very quickly throughout the next few years because our measuring system is nothing like the one that's been instilled in our world.
No.
So well done finding that unique description of Bhutan, of how they measure their happiness to determine how the country's going.
And they have no problem with CO2.
Of course.
And 70% of their country are trees. Are trees. And it's written into law that it may never go below 60%.
That's very good.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much of what you're looking at is the result of what you've been doing, the result of bringing the vibration in its complex form into the simplest operating system of all. And that's the one that each one of us knows. The operating system that comes with us that doesn't have a description. And each time we expose that operating system that we carry, it increases the flow of the complexity with every simple action. So that sounds complex, but that's what simplicity is. So the simpler you make it, the more complex the field becomes around you, and the easier it is to achieve everything.
Wow. Yeah.
So more and more of that realization will come into everybody's awareness, not through teaching, but through the simplicity and the awareness that they can see more than they think they can see. It's a little bit like looking at your picture now. There's so much in the background that creates a beautiful picture. But if you go into all the different components of what's behind you, you're looking at a world that's infinite just in one little picture. And it makes you smile when you look at it. But the simplicity is what does it. Because it appears in a field that amplifies all the beauty. And it amplifies the feelings. So as you keep talking and having conversations, there's something reveals itself behind the conversation. There's a sense of a connection, and there's a sense of achievement. And they're not based on the subject. So this is the next thing that we really can be aware of, that there's something more that happens when we have a conversation than what we've ever thought of. And you can't summarize it. And you'll find at the end of the conversation, you won't know all the details unless you go back through the recording. But you will have this sense of awareness that it felt good, it did some good, it made a difference. And that's the area of the unknown that we're going to be working with. We're going to be working with the fact that something comes out of nowhere. A simple conversation produces an awareness of so many things, such achievement, such deliverance of well-being, that we don't really know how to describe. But we'll get to the point of describing it with our smile, with our excitement, with our sense of celebration. And the more we venture into those areas, the better we will become. The more healing will happen just through a conversation. The operating system within each person's body responds enormously to a good conversation with no real subject. Just like we're talking now, there's no real subject.
That's true.
But what it does to our personal operating system is something that's going to be sought after forever.
Mm. Yeah.
It's going to extend our lives. It's going to make our food taste better. It's going to make our brain be quiet
Yes.
and allow all the interaction of the universe to deliver itself the way it's supposed to into your field and out of your field. So when we're talking about magic and miracles, we've just extended it by trillions.
I feel that. I feel so different in this conversation. There is magic happening. I know that. And when you mentioned healing before, it reminded me of the other night when you heard me say that my back was hurting. I had overextended myself during the day, and you didn't say a word. And I woke up the next morning and I said, I have no after effect of all that activity yesterday. And you smiled and you said, well, I just took care of that. And that was you changing the fish tank, the water. Was that how you put it?
Yeah,
You said,
the water is
I just changed everything around you.
yeah. It's like the water is the medium that carries the fish, and the medium that carries humanity has not yet been discovered. But we're replacing it with every interaction.
Yeah.
So where we go from here, nobody knows
No.
except everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Every single person will find that they don't have to discover anything, that the discovery is happening every second in fields that are beyond anything that's ever been explained before. And they all make you feel good. And they allow you to do things that you keep telling one another is not possible.
Mm-hmm. Well, didn't you say if it's not impossible, we're not interested?
Yeah, I often said that.
Yeah, that stays with me.
Yeah, the light-hearted part of our life is never squashed. It just got pushed into the background. So it's the simplest things that can make us happy.
Yeah.
And that all our language will actually change. You know, even now we talk about freedom, and it's different to when we were talking about freedom a year ago.
Yes.
Comfort is different to what we've been talking about, because our comfort doesn't rely on our physical being, it relies on more than that. And, you know, each time you get into deep thought or analysis, your comfort disappears.
I've noticed that.
So the reality is changing.
Yeah.
So we can look forward to much more reality change and much more excitement, because that's all we live for.
Yeah.
The easiest path is the most exciting.
No one's ever heard that before.
Well, I used to be able to say it a different way. I used to say, if it's hard work, you're doing it wrong.
Right. Yes. I remember.
But we don't do work anymore. We live life. So the emphasis on what we describe ourselves as has changed. It's not what do you do for a living, it's what are you doing in your life.
Mm.
And that'll go as well, because it's not a doing. Living life is not doing. It contains everything.
Mm.
And, you know, if you get into the real complex parts of nature, you'll dig up all the crawlies under the ground that are not very comfortable. And if we do the same thing with our life, we dig up all the little crawlies, we'll be uncomfortable. Because they all exist in harmony, but it's not the harmony we understand. And they produce, just like nice grass or nice plants, all the things that come together to do that are not necessarily so nice as an individual entity.
Yeah.
You know, the flies and the spiders and the snakes, all that do a job to create that picture behind you. But they're in harmony, and it's the end result we live with. So it's the same with our life. All those, what we used to think were nasty things, or things that didn't come together properly, or things that look out of place, they only look that way because you went in too close.
Yeah.
You didn't stand back and look at your whole being and feel the result of every bit of your being there.
Mm.
So I can just do it in a second. And you feel yourself grow. Feel yourself vibrate. You feel your whole being is alive because you just went back one step from where you've been viewing it before. Every time we look at one another, we see a different picture.
Mm-hmm.
But we scrounge up the old picture to try and compare. If you don't do that, if you just look and appreciate and expand a little, all the light-hearted part of your life starts to stick out. And the smile and the glow and the elegance becomes the thing that's in focus.
Lovely.
And I have never seen an elegant being that's sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas most people would say it the other way around. A sick person is not very elegant. But in fact, it's the other way around. If you are an elegant being, you won't be sick. It's impossible. And you and I know that around this house, we really haven't got any time for illness. So it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We feel a bit of an imbalance, we get on with it. And it gets to be in our face sometimes, but that's all. Everybody can do the same.
Mm.
And you don't have to worry about all the big pharma stuff and all the GMO and all that. because we are capable of converting it back as soon as we touch it.
Yes.
As soon as you touch your food, it can be converted back to the very thing that each individual wants. And it's been proven over many, many years that not one person gets the same out of a dish of food as the other person who's eating exactly the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So all this concern about having to get everything right is getting in too close. The simplicity is you will eat it if it's right for you. You won't eat it if it's not.
So simple.
But without even thinking, it won't turn up in your house. It won't turn up where you're eating. Or it won't appeal to you on the menu. So this is the big area that's growing in everybody, where their sensitivities are becoming a real part of their life. Like if you pick up a glass of water or something that you might think does you good, and you don't think about it, you will either drink or eat, or you won't. And that signal that tells you that is always correct. So when we get to the point of allowing a fraction of a second when we touch something to allow the signal to get to the right place, we will eat exactly what we need. We'll drink exactly what we need. And if it's not right, we'll change it before it gets too far through our body. It's been known for many, many years. It's been overshadowed by advertising.
Oh, yes.
So now we're in a good position where you don't have to think about what you focus on. You can watch an ad and it'll just disappear out the other side if it's not right. I think I said it the other day, we have a BS meter.
Mm-hmm.
Capital B, capital S. I won't say it out loud.
Okay.
We have a very, very sensitive meter. It's part of us. And all we have to do is keep quiet. And it works every time.
Mm-hmm.
Our comment system and our analysis and all that puts us into the discomfort zone that it's designed to do.
I've experienced that. And I said, wait a minute. This just brought down the vibration. No. And I like your meter. I'm just gonna, we have that button. It's called, that was easy. So, yeah.
Yeah, this big red button that David brought.
Yeah.
You press it, it says that was easy.
It gets pushed a lot.
It's very good.
Yeah.
So as we go from here, there's going to be a lot of changes that are very subtle, that allow more room for life,
Mm-hmm.
that spread the carpet of joy for other people. There's no description that can isolate that into one heading.
Mm-hmm.
But as we progress, our purpose will change. it won't be the same purpose every day. It'll extend past anything we can put as a heading, and it'll maintain the momentum that has been sorely missed in many people's lives.
Yeah.
When we've gone past the point where we keep telling people, take the first step. We're well past that, we're running. And many of us have actually taken off. So we're in flying mode. So it's not a matter of whether you're going or not, it's a matter of whether you pick up the slipstream that suddenly appears in front of you, or whether you enjoy the excitement of the flow, and whether you look at another person and say to yourself, how magnificent. All the training that the world has gone through to celebrate jealousy and conflict, gone.
Mm-hmm.
It can't keep up to the flow, because the natural flow is enhanced each time we interact, we talk, we get together, or we don't get together. We feel one another at a distance. We used to call it a fleeting thought, and now we say, now it's a connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it feels physical, it is physical. And the fact that when that happens, you can actually see where a person is. It's becoming more natural and acceptable. It's always happened to me. If I look towards somebody, I can sometimes look around them as well. I can look through their eyes and see what they're seeing. And you can too, and everybody can. But you have inbuilt conditions at the moment that will disappear. The inbuilt conditions might be that it has to be close family, or someone you're really connected to, or a twin, or someone that you have some special arrangement with, where you know their habits. But now, you're in the flow that tells you can do whatever you like. And you're going to enhance everyone, not hurt them. So when you look at somebody's face and you can see them, even though they're not there, you're actually standing in front of them. So you may as well take the opportunity of looking around. And you'll see them sitting at a table or walking down the street or looking out on the countryside. And you'll know that you were drawn to look because they wanted to show you what they're looking at. Other times you'll know you're drawn to look because they're looking at you. And it might be someone you don't know. But you will feel that you know them.
Mm-hmm.
So more and more interaction is going to take place in the quiet between each moment. Because in that quiet between each moment is a much bigger world than the one we can look at.
Mm. Yeah.
Like the rest time between musical notes. That's what actually makes the music, not the note itself. You can play chopsticks at different rates with 2 or 3 notes. And you can make it sound whatever you want by changing the spaces between the notes. So in what we call the darkness, or the mystery, there is life. There is communication. There is knowing. There's healing. It's amazing sentiments. There's a perfume, not just of flowers, but the perfume of life that appears as soon as you allow it to be there. If you ask yourself, what colour is somebody? You'll get a colour. You ask them what aroma? You'll get an aroma. So the more you play with that sort of thing, the greater the mystery, but the greater the experience. And when someone says you should not walk around in a daze, just say, try it. It's good fun. When you should prove that you can smell something, so we'll come over here and try my nose, it smells. I can detect many things that have got no words to them. You know, you can tell if there's disharmony and nobody said a word.
Yeah.
So all these capabilities we have can be allowed to be in the mix of life that we're about to experience in the next moment. I could go on forever, but I won't. This is your day, and I congratulate you.
And you are my joy. Inviting you was the best thing I've ever done in my whole life. And speaking of joy, not to prolong too much, but as quiet as it is right now here with the birds singing, and I don't know, is it 2 weeks, 3 weeks? There's going to be a wedding celebration right here in our home. That's going to be really something.
Yeah.
But not as exciting as these few moments with you. As a matter of fact, while you were speaking, there was a point where you almost disappeared from my sight. And I looked over at my picture and I could still see me, so I knew it wasn't my eyes. It was something very magical happening. And I had to tell you that.
Thank you.
You are magic.
And you. And we've got a lot more to do that we're not doing. I'll say that again. It's not to do. It's not that we have something to do. We've got a lot more living to experience so that everybody else can experience the same or better.
Yes. Thank you for accepting my invitation.
And thanks for the invite. So I'll let you carry on. And thank you so much.
Thank you. I have no words. It's just my dream of having everyone of humanity as one family. There's an addition to that dream. And that dream is to gift to the world the magic of Robert Young. So being here together, we are both wishing you perfect life, perfect health, and a very, very magical future. Thank you.